All right, boys.
All right, boys, Scotty the Redneck Canadian. I got my best buddy Hank here, and we are heading up to the compound up north, and I learned about something cool, and we like to educate people here because this is my channel, by the way, Welcome to Scotty's Homestead University, where I try not to swear and offend liberals, and we like to educate people, and today we're going to have like an educational topic, and our topic today is monuments. Now, we all know in Michigan, Ypsilanti's got the brick dig, and Sterling Heights is the golden butthole, and Detroit's got the big fist, right? I'll tell you what, none of those monuments, they ain't worth squat. This here is a monument. This monument is to Jenny, the beer-drinking bear. And this monument, okay, has a story attached to it that's an educational story. That story is about the dangers of overreaching government, okay? So this is for, hey, we love to have our liberal subscribers, all right? But you know what, man? When you're a do-gooder and you want to use the coercive power of government to stop people from doing stuff you don't like them doing, there can be a lot of consequences to that, and usually it doesn't end up good. And that's what happens in the case of Jenny here, okay? So where we're standing here, we got the Quanakasi River over here and over here. This actually used to be a hotel, and this used to be a state road out here, okay? And this guy Vanderbilt owned this hotel, and he had a little roadside attraction, had pets, and he ended up getting some bears. And Jenny here, they found abandoned or orphaned about, I don't know, 60 or 80 miles west of here in Clare, Michigan. And Mr. Vanderbilt, he, took Jenny in, and they became friends. And at some point in time, Jenny decided she liked beer. And Mr. Vanderbilt used to give her beer because they were friends. I mean, if Hank needs a beer, I go to the fridge and get him one. He does the same for me, right? I mean, we like beer. Why wouldn't Jenny like beer, right?
Exactly.
So anyways, Jenny decided he liked beer, and people like to see Jenny drink beer. So they brought in this big, huge tree trunk into the hotel, and they used to schedule beer drinkings for Jenny, and people would come from miles and miles around it. Now, we're talking like the 1910s and 20s. This is a long time ago. This thing's been here for over 100 years, or around 100 years. So
it's crazy.
People used to come. Everybody loved Jenny. Everything was cool, right? Until these liberal do-getters decided that it'd be better if they just banned alcohol. And we end up with prohibition.
Shame.
And that's fine. Look at all the bad stuff that come out of prohibition. Gangs, right? There was nobody was shooting each other in the streets, St. Valentine's Day massacres. Everything before that was kind of like, let's go outside and, get our six-shooters out, right? Well, let me tell you something. Al Capone and all of that was not the worst thing that happened out of these liberal do-gooders wanting everybody not to be able to get alcohol. The problem is, Mr. Vanderbilt had his best friend Jenny here, and she didn't understand why she couldn't get beer anymore. So let me tell you something. If I had to stop drinking beer, I probably wouldn't be very nice.
Don't
but I'm not a 600-pound bear, all right? So Jenny was causing problems because, now we got an alcoholic bear that's going through withdrawals, and we have some problems. And so she was getting unmanageable. And one day these guys come around, and they had this big hunting club around here, and they said to Mr. Vanderbilt, well, hey, we'll take Jenny off your hands. We got a place for her. Well, unbeknownst to Mr. Vanderbilt, they had plans for Jenny to be the guest of honor at their, annual dinner. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, she wasn't drinking beer or giving any speeches at this dinner, but she was definitely up there on the table, all right? So Mr. Vanderbilt, this comes back to him, that they went and ate his best friend. Thank you very much. I wonder what PETA would think about that, you liberal do-gooders.
Poor Jenny.
I'm sorry, I'm trying not to offend liberals, but I'm getting worked up about this. I mean,
poor Jenny.
We had a beer-drinking bear.
Right.
And they killed her with government overreach.
Right.
Okay? So anyways, Mr. Vanderbilt took the money that he got by selling Jenny to these people, and he built this monument. And so we've got Jenny the beer-drinking bear. And I mean, come on, dude. How do you get any cooler than having a beer-drinking bear?
Right.
I mean, even the guy in the Hams commercials in the 70s that drove around in his Jeep with his grizzly bear drinking Hams, I mean, that guy's pretty cool. but I mean, this guy actually owned a beer drinking.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna drink a beer here for Jenny. We'll give one out to Jenny.
And one for the homies.
All right.
There you
Well, we're gonna
go.
drink a beer. We're gonna get out of here. So,
All right.
Until next time, boys.